Our family's always kind of been in the cattle business. My grandfather and actually my grandfather on both sides of my family. It was never any question that I would be in the cow business. I've always loved it. From the time I was big enough to climb up behind the horse, even when I wasn't big enough to ride by myself, I'd be holding on. And it's just a way of life I knew I was going to want to do. For me, I would like to see the family stay in the cow business. My family's always been in the cow business. I'd like to see my kids' kids be in the cow business. I want them to be interested in it. I want them to enjoy it. And hopefully we can keep this land together and we can keep creating a good product. And 100 years from now, they'll say, hey, that thing got started way back in the 80s.
Hello and welcome to The American Rancher. I'm Pam Minick. On this episode, sponsored by VITAFERM, we'll take you to Northeast Louisiana, where one cattleman's passion for ranching, family, and fun has fueled the growth of their operation. From a small cow-calf herd to a diverse ranching outfit that stretches into 3 states and markets nearly 1,000 bred replacement heifers to cattlemen across the Gulf Coast region every year. Enjoy the program as we introduce you to owner Jeff Simmons and ranch manager Colby Darty of J&S Cattle in Bastrop, Louisiana.
J&S Cattle got started when my grandfather passed away and we kind of got out of the cow business. And I got in the sporting goods business. And after a few years of that, I told my wife I want to get some cows back. And I said, I'm going to get about 30 and just play around with them. She said, you'll have 100 in a year. Well, I had 300 in a year. And we grew it over time, and it was just me by myself and my family, and we kind of built it into something a little bigger, and through the years we've added and grown, and so it's kind of a big family atmosphere, and we have fun every day. Well, J&S is right in the middle of the Mississippi Delta, and this is farm country. This is row crops. This is corn, soybeans, cotton, rice, whatever it is. And the land that's not in row crop production is typically the sorriest land out there. And that's what we have to deal with from the cattle side. So there's just not a lot of pasture land, so we have to go where we can get it at.
Most of the bulk of our operation is in Northeast Louisiana with all our cows and calves, and we run grass calves around the Bolton area.
We're pretty spread out. We're in 5 parishes in Louisiana. We're in 3 states. We have 2 counties in Arkansas and 3 counties in Mississippi. So we're scattered over about a 150-mile radius.
We're pretty much a cow-calf deal, and what we try to do here is sell and save and produce a nice replacement heifer.
We breed a lot of heifers. Replacement heifer market is our bread and butter. We raise F1 heifers off of Angus and Hereford cows, and raise a really good F1 half Brahma heifer that really acclimates well to this part of the world. They're insect resistant, they're heat resistant, they're just really good for the southeast United States.
Predominantly we are a cow-calf operation, but we can't put all our eggs in one basket, with the markets and everything, and we can't solely depend on that. So what we try to do here is have a replacement heifer that we can market and not just depend on as far as the loads and everything else and the steers. We've gotten in the past few years to where we're probably 50% replacement heifer.
We were saving heifers for our own use, and I bought me some Hereford cows and some Angus cows, started crossing with Hudgens Bramble bulls, and a lot of my neighbors got to seeing the heifers and say, hey, sell me some of those heifers. And we started doing a little of that, and it got bigger and bigger, and the more I raised, the more I was able to sell. we got to the point where we couldn't save any ourselves because people were showing up to buy them.
I would say our main goal is probably to provide our customers with a strong, hardy type F1 heifer that we know that when we sell that you're not going to have to baby through this climate, and she's pretty much has a high breed-back ratio, and she'll also produce a high weaning weight on a calf at the end of the year. That's probably our goal.
You know, at J&S we had a balance of tiger stripe heifers, which come out of the Hereford cows and the Brahma bulls, and also the Angus cows and the Brahma bulls. And we'd like to take those heifers and we'll cross the black F1 heifers back to a horned Hereford bull and get a black baldy calf with a little bit of Brahma in him, which will still do really well in this climate. And then we take the tiger stripe cow, put her back to an Angus bull, and we still get the black baldies that have the ear on them, and they're just resistant here, and the heat and the mosquitoes and the wet and all the things we have to battle, they do really good in this country.
We have to have a cow that I know that can take care of herself. It's not like anywhere else where you can go and I get to see the cattle on a day-to-day basis. I mean, we have cattle that we can't see. We don't see them but every couple, 2 or 3 weeks. I feel like a lot of these operations in the South, kind of like we are, even they don't get to see their cattle every day. You know, they can, whether they're in the marsh or in the swamps of South Florida or in South Texas or something like that. These cattle are the type of cattle that you can turn out and you don't have to be with them every day.
I think our cattle, you know, especially in the Southeast, will go into almost any herd in any condition. The cattle have to perform for us first, and if they'll perform for us, then they'll perform anywhere in this part of the world. I think everybody in the cow business has their own unique battles, and some of it's climate, and some of it's disease, and some of it's insects. And here in this country, we battle wet and water and standing water, and that breeds mosquitoes, and it just requires a different kind of cow and a different kind of handling.
No matter where you live, all cattlemen face their own unique challenges in their operation. When we come back, we'll learn about the challenges the J&S crew and cattlemen across the southern United States face each and every summer. Stay tuned for more of The American Rancher, brought to you by VITAFERM.
In 1994, Superior Livestock Auction introduced nationally recognized value-added programs to the American beef industry. Now, cattle sold on Superior Livestock video auctions get top dollar when a program is behind them. The USDA-approved, third-party audited Superior Verified program verifies source and age of your calves. Superior Progressive Genetics identifies load lots of cattle sold on Superior that are sired by Top Genetics. NHTC verifies the source, age, and non-hormone treatment status of your calves. These and other Superior value-added programs are just another way that Superior Livestock is improving the beef industry and bringing more dollars to your bottom line. Individual programs start at just $1.22 per hundredweight.
So you can't make any money any faster than investing $3 and getting $40, $60, $70 back.
Call or go online to find out more about Superior Livestock's value-added programs.
We want a trust relationship with our customers. We want them to know that we care about them, that our products work, and we'll stand behind them.
To come back and purchase, to bid and buy their customers' cattle, they're very, very dedicated to a customer's product, and I think that creates a lot of longevity.
98, that's 63,000. Thank you.
Welcome back to The American Rancher. Throughout the South, cattle are subjected to considerable wet weather, heat, humidity, and insects, a combination that can cause substantial stress for the cow herd and present a real management challenge for the beef producer. In this segment, we'll learn more about these challenges and see how the crew at J&S has worked to provide better care for their cattle by decreasing the effects of heat stress. We'll also introduce you to Alan Lee, National Sales Manager at Biozyme, the manufacturers of VITAFERM products.
At J&S Cattle, we're right here in northeast Louisiana, and we have a few pastures in South Arkansas, and we're in 4 counties in Mississippi also.
We can run our cattle really at a high stocking rate. A lot of the cattle, 1.5 to 2 acres to the cow, which is a great advantage to us. We don't have to have the huge acreage, and we can really raise good grass here. Most all our pastures are hybrid Bermuda, produce high tonnage, and the cattle very seldom ever do without.
I would say the challenge in our operation is the weather here. The wet weather is a really, really big problem. We have cold and wet winters, and cold here for us is normally mid-20s, but you're soaking wet at the same time. And then comes spring, and here comes the insects and the bugs. And then summer, when it comes, we're 100 to 110% humidity, 90% of the time. I would say that time of the year is probably the hardest on them that I see, because when the cattle are in the trees and stuff, then they're not grazing, so your pounds are not there, and whether it's cows or calves, and the cows are not grazing, they're not producing the milk for the calves, and the calves are not grazing, they're not producing the pounds for us, and that's a big problem.
We're just kind of getting into the springtime of the year. The temperature's starting to warm up in our country. The days are getting in the 70s, and we've had a few 80-degree days. In certain times of the year, it's really wet here, a lot of standing water, which breeds a lot of insects, so it won't be long, the flies will be coming out and the humidity will be getting a little greater. May, June, and July, August are a terrible time of year in this part of the world for humidity. The humidity in the summer months is just unbearable. The cattle want to lay around in the middle of the day, they want to swat flies, and they want to come out the first hour of the day and the last hour of the day, which gives them a very short time to graze and to actually gain. And it's a battle for us to make sure that we keep the insects off the cattle, we keep them to the lowest stress level that we possibly can.
March normally starts what we call the buffalo gnats, which is a black gnat that starts around there. They'll get in their face and their nose, and it really causes the cattle to congregate up. And we're trying to we'll build fires or smokes to help that problem. Then comes the summer, that would be the black flies and the horn flies, and that's really a problem because of so much stress. You see the cattle, they pretty much just lay down, because of all that kind of problem, and that's a really big stress factor on them.
Even though our cattle have some Brahma influence and they are somewhat heat resistant and insect resistant, we have to do some things to keep the tolerance levels down where it's not bothering them. The stress on the cattle causes them to not graze as much, and it affects our gain on the calves. It hurts the body condition of the cow because they're spending 3/4 of their day laying up in the shade to stay out of the humidity. And so the stress level in the end hurts our performance, and our performance hurts our pocketbook. So we're trying to take care of the cattle so the cattle will take care of us.
We do have a genetic base for this environment, but they also can use all the help they can get. Anytime we can help her to get a little cooler or more hydrated, I think anything we can do for them will pay off in the long run.
Raising cattle in North Louisiana is probably as challenging as anywhere in the country. It's almost a breeding ground for parasites. Along with that, the heat stress and the humidity plays a big role in livestock production in that region. Heat stress impacts a lot of the cattle in the southeastern United States. Anytime the temperature starts rising above 70 degrees, these cattle are going to start to encounter heat stress. And with that, that's going to be less production, if you will. These cattle are going to start shading up, they're going to get in the ponds, less grazing time, less weight gain, less milk production. The list goes on the detrimental factors of heat stress. Most of the university research shows that when temperatures start rising over 70 degrees, most cattle start encountering some heat stress issues. This means that most of the country is going to encounter heat stress in their cattle at some point in time or another. Once that happens, these cattle are less active. They're going to show you less performance. They're going to begin to shade up. They're not going to be out grazing and performing at their max level.
Performance goes back to your pocketbook. And in the cow business, I think the most important thing, and then probably the only thing you have, is your reputation. We try to give the cattle everything they could possibly need, the best mineral, the best protein to bale the best hay we can. So in the end, we got an elite heifer, replacement heifer, or an elite feeder calf that goes to the feed yard, and they're happy with their performance. And you know, in the end, we want to raise a really good product, but we got to make money too.
When we come back, we'll learn how one unique product has helped J&S cattle ease the effects of heat stress in their herd and make their operation more profitable by increasing performance. Stay tuned for more of The American Rancher, brought to you by VITAFERM.
Did you know that your cattle can begin to feel the effects of heat stress anytime the temperature reaches 70 degrees or above? VITAFERM Heat is a fully fortified vitamin and mineral supplement with the AMAFERM advantage that reduces heat stress in cattle by lowering body temperature. As an added bonus, Heat contains garlic, a natural insect repellent. It's about to be hot out there. Less heat stress means better performance. Keep them cool. Keep them grazing. VITAFERM Heat.
The American Shorthorn Association is America's oldest beef breed association. Shorthorn cattle have been documented to produce high-quality carcasses that out-yield other British breeds. The added docility and maternal advantage of Shorthorns make them an outstanding choice to add heterosis to your commercial cattle operation. Shorthorns truly are a breed focused on performance with purpose. For more information, visit our newly renovated website at shorthorn.org or call 816-599-7777.
Superior Livestock Auction connects producers to buyers across the U.S. through the largest cattle merchandising network in North America.
They're seen by probably pretty much every person buying cattle in the U.S. They pretty much establish the price.
Our customers have a way to purchase bulls without having to physically be at the sale. Because our sale's the second Saturday in February, you never know what the weather might be in the Texas Panhandle.
In 2017, we sold nearly 1.5 million head for top dollar.
When you watch a Superior sale, it seems like that they do bring a premium.
We are several $100,000 ahead of where we would be if we didn't have Superior.
They have done such an extraordinary job in helping us market our program throughout the United States.
Your paycheck is Superior's #1 priority, which is why more producers trust Superior. Call us or go online to learn how to sell your cattle the Superior way.
Welcome back to The American Rancher. This episode is brought to you by VITAFERM. Let's head back to Bastrop, Louisiana, where the crew at J&S Cattle is preparing for the challenges of heat stress that their herd will face in the coming months. In this segment, we'll learn how they've utilized VITAFERM Heat Mineral to maximize their herd health and nutrition strategy to keep their cattle cool and keep them grazing, even in the hot summer months.
Raising cattle in the southeastern United States presents a lot of problems that a lot of people around the country are not accustomed to. The heat, the humidity, the parasites that these guys deal with, and with average rainfall above the normal, it presents some challenges within raising cattle, especially an operation the size of J&S.
A health program to me is the most important thing you can do to your cattle. For a couple of years I struggled with my cattle with all kinds of problems because we didn't have a solid foundation on our health program. It'd be the mineral, it'd be the vaccinations, all those things are your foundation. If you don't have a solid health program, you're never going to make the cattle and have the best performance they could actually have because they're going to be held back. When the cattle do without, in the end you'll do without. You know, when the VITAFERM Heat Mineral came out with the idea that you could lower the body temperature of the cow and possibly put that cow on that pasture grazing for more hours a day. And that was something that was of pretty big interest to me.
VITAFERM Heat is a fully fortified free choice mineral that helps reduce the impact of heat stress and has a natural insect repellent included as well.
I was looking for a product that would help with the insects, and it also helped the summertime. I really didn't want to go with IGR in my mineral program because we are all natural here at JNS. So they come to me with this product, and we started it on my Hereford and Angus cows, what I like to call my straight blood cows, and they're probably the cattle here that have the most problems during the summer.
Within 30 days of putting the mineral out, we saw the cattle on the pasture a couple hours a day more than they would have normally been.
A calf's gonna pretty much do what his mother does. And if she's out grazing during the day, he's going. If he's laying in the shade, you got other problems. But if she's out and about grazing, he's gonna be grazing right along with her. And once they're out of the shade and when they're out grazing, the flies are not near as bad.
As all of our products at Biozyme, the Heat Mineral Pack does include AmmoFerm as well. AmmoFerm is going to amplify the nutrients that we're already putting into these cattle. AmmoFerm is going to promote intake, it's going to increase digestibility, and it's going to allow for more nutrient absorption. When you incorporate the heat mineral into your operation, it's simply going to make these cattle more comfortable, they're going to be cooler with a lower core body temperature, and they're going to be out performing. They're going to be out grazing, they're going to be out gaining weight, they're going to be out producing more pounds of milk for their calves. It's simply going to make these cattle more efficient and allow them to offset some of the environmental challenges that you're going to see during the summer months.
We use the loose mineral of free choice, and we give it to them we start them around the middle of March and we run through about the beginning of November on the heat.
And it takes a few weeks for them to build up some, get it in their system and consume enough of it. And then we'll feed it on through the summer months on into the fall. Now, we'll make the switch to conceptate when we get over pre-breeding, and the temperatures have moderated by that time, and it's not as big a deal by October.
People should incorporate the Heat Mineral Pack when they come off of conceptate. When these temperatures start to rise above 70 degrees is when you need to incorporate this product. We see temperatures over 70 degrees in the majority of the country. So, this heat product is certainly something that can be utilized across the country from border to border. The other time that you may want to look at the Heat Mineral Pack is if you're grazing cattle on fescue. The capsaicin is going to act as a vasodilator in these cattle and increase blood flow. And so it's a perfect fit for cattle that are grazing on fescue as well as cattle in the hot summer months.
Well, I think the VITAFERM Heat does remove some stress from the heat and the humidity on the cattle. And therefore, if they graze more, then they're going to gain more. It's important in the overall packaging to get the weight on them calves because that's our money in the end.
The advantages I see by using the product is it does help with the heat stress. Here at JNS, we like to give them as much as we possibly can to help them with this problem.
When you talk to Jeff Simmons, Colby, or any of the rest of the crew at JNS Cattle, it's obvious that the most important thing to them at that operation is that they give these cattle the best care possible.
I think that the more you put into the cattle, the more the cattle will give back to you in your pocketbook in the end. Better gain on your calves. You're going to have better breed back on your cows. A cow is only as good as what you pour into her. Do the things so when the person that buys them at the lot, they make money on them. They don't have a big death loss. They can say, hey, we need to buy those calves again. And in the cow business, I think the most important thing, and then probably the only thing you have, is your reputation. Our customers are mostly repeat customers, whether it be replacement heifer customers or feedlots that buy from us. And we have a really good relationship with all those people. They're part of the family. And we want doing business with us to be fun, because we have fun. And I really think that's the basis of our deal for 35 years is the people that we do business with, we treat them like part of the family.
We'd like to thank Jeff and Colby for sharing their story and their passion for ranching, family, and fun with us. I hope you enjoyed the program. If you'd like to learn more about VITAFERM heat, just give them a call or log on to VITAFERM.com and find the dealer nearest you. To find out more about us, visit our website, theamericanrancher.com, or connect with us on Facebook. I'm Pam Minick for the entire American Rancher team. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.